For the final time, Archer. Ladies and gentlemen, Archer, season 14, which I still can't believe, episode 9, but judging by this particular episode, this was basically episode 9, 10, 11, and 12. Archer Into the Cold, series finale. We have reached the end. How sad it is. And it's your boy Icon back with another TV review, because I wasn't going to let you guys go into the new year without at least giving you a little bit more. We do have a couple of things going on in the pipeline, but first, let us say goodbye to the world's greatest spy as we talk about Archer. And I bought this t-shirt at New York Comic-Con, and this is the only time I'm ever going to wear it on camera. So go get right into it. So in episode 8, when we last met the gang, they had just got disemboweled by the government because the government has decided they're going to outlaw all private spy agencies, which is them because they're private spy agencies. But they have one last mission that they have to do because the UN is supposed to vote on whether or not to outlaw these agencies. So there is a bomb that the Chinese has, that the Americans want to take a peek at, that the Russians have sold to the Ukrainians or something like that. There's a whole lot of espionage shit going on here. But they got hired to try to steal the bomb and bring it over to the American side. They agree to do it because they're just like, hey, if we can do it and if we can get this bomb off of the table, if we can like get it to the Americans, maybe the Americans will vote to keep the spy agencies alive. So that's what we're hoping for here. So now that we're doing this, Archer, Pam, Ray, and Zara, they're in Costa Rica because that's where the bomb's supposed to be sold, because it's Carnival, and the carnival is supposed to be what the bad guys are going to use to camouflage their whole misdeeds. Lana, Cheryl, Cyril, and Krieger, they're back at, they're back at headquarters. And while they're back at headquarters, like everybody's packing up, like all the employees are leaving because since spy agencies are presumably about to get banned, everybody's about to be out of a job. Lana's losing her shit. She's cursing out Archer. She's cursing out everybody, and she's trying to figure out what to do after that. But then she tells them, she said, "Listen, if we're gonna lose this place, we got to get our deposit back for the, for the office." So she tells the gang, she's like, "Listen, go digging through some shit." She said, "Clean up the elevator shaft, and if you guys find anything cool, you can keep it." While they're all digging through the trash, they end up finding a key. And the key was supposed to go to some room that they didn't know about. And then Krieger ended up knowing what the room was for. They ended up going through Krieger's shit. And when they went through Krieger's shit, they found a secret room that Krieger had. And it had some magical, like beam of light that we would find out what it is later on. So meanwhile, now back in El de Janeiro, whatever they were, they go to the place, they go to the warehouse where the transaction's taking place. Archer being Archer, doing Archer shit, he manages to get the bomb. And throughout this entire episode, well, this entire movie, we'll just go like they got a damn movie for the series finale. So during this whole movie, Archer was basically trying to ignore the fact that this was going to be their final mission. The rest of the team was just like, "Oh, so what are you going to do when this is over?" Throughout the whole episode, Zara kept trying to get a job somewhere else. And, Archer was just ignoring the fact that it was their last mission. And he was basically in denial. And then Pam was sad because she's like, "Is this what you really want to do for your last mission?" And he was just like, "Yup." And then he walked away. So they end up getting the bomb. They go down to the beach because that's where the contact was supposed to come from America to pick up the bomb. And when the contact shows up, it actually turns out to be good old Slater. Remember Slater? There are a lot of callback characters. There are a lot of callback characters, and a lot of callback moments in this episode. Like Ray flying a plane, Lana going from the business suit to her traditional little ass dress with the high boots. There was a lot of little callbacks, but one of the callbacks that we got was Slater. Slater comes back and he's just like, "Yeah," he's like, "I'm still with the CIA bitches, and they sent me here to get the bomb." They turn over the bomb to Slater. Slater takes the bomb and then he flies off. And then that's when Zara called one of her old contacts at MI6, and then they told her that, Slater actually isn't a member of the CIA and that he tricked them. So then Archer gets pissed. He puts a rocket pack on. He goes after Slater. He actually defeats Slater, but in the process, he crash landed on the beach, and then everybody saw it, like the fight between him and Slater. People were filming it. Archer was grandstanding, talking about how he's the world's greatest spy and that he never felt more alive. They broadcast that throughout the world so the UN can see it, which didn't help their case as far as them trying to, not ban spy agencies. So after Archer basically defeated Slater and stopped his helicopter, then that's when we got our second callback character, because Slater had paid for the services of Tatia, the Russian cyborg. So she comes out, and then she shoots Archer. Archer passes out, and then they kidnap him. So Archer's tied up somewhere in the middle of, I don't even remember where he was. But then the rest of the team, they go back to New York, and they're trying to figure out what to do. How can they save Archer, but they don't know what to do. While Archer's being tied up and being tortured, him and Tatia have a conversation. And Tatia basically tells him that Slater's whole plan is, since the UN is about to ban spy agencies, he wants to use the bomb to create a new version of the Cold War so they can put these agencies back into place. Because Slater felt like, the world wouldn't be a safer place if it was a safer place. He felt that the world would be a better place if it was worse, because then people like him would exist. And then Tatia even tried to tell Archer, she was just like, she's like, you're the world's greatest spy. She's like, "Do you really want to live in a world where you're no longer needed?" And then Archer started thinking about that, he started thinking about her. And then she was just like, "Oh, why don't you work for the dark side, Sterling?" And then, like, we can do great things, great glorious things. So now he's kind of thinking about it, but not really. So he ends up escaping. He sends a fax over to the spy agency to let them know where he is. And then after that, we get a really cool Archer moment, a really cool Archer chase scene. And I like that whole scene because Archer got a chance to shine in this moment. And, and even every character, like every particular character in the series got a moment to quote unquote do their thing. Like everybody, like even Ray, what I'm saying? Like Ray was flying the plane because once they found out where Archer was, they flew over to where he was. Ray was flying the plane. Cyril got a moment to prove that he was a great accountant. Like even Cheryl did something. Like Cheryl, like she robbed a jewelry store and like she destroyed a helicopter. So this real cool scene with Archer basically like going through the snow, killing people, doing Archer shit, flying around. Like that whole thing happened to basically give him his last hurrah to prove to everybody why he's the world's greatest spy. He meets up with the team. And now they're just like, okay, we're in some random country and there's a dam here. And the dam is protecting, obviously, like a village. It's a village that isn't on the map. But there's also a cabin that a lot of government officials, like high-level government officials, they're staying in a cabin. So Slater's whole plan is he's going to blow up the dam. And then when he kills those agents, like those high class officials, that's what's going to restart the Cold War. Then we're back off to the races. So the team's whole thing is like they have to stop him from blowing up the dam. So we get everybody in the room. Oh, and Barry was there too, because they ended up getting Barry out of the refrigerator. They made him mobile. They put him in a vacuum cleaner, and they brought him over to where they were to help with the final mission, because they were just like, well, because he's a computer, maybe he can help as far as like the bomb is concerned. What Krieger found in that magic room was basically the consciousness of Barry. And he said that he's been doing stuff on the dark web and then like erasing his own memory so he wouldn't remember. We didn't really get into that, but he basically had his consciousness. He also built a prototype body for Barry, and he said that he was going to use the power from the dam to put Barry's consciousness into the prototype. So now everybody has their plan. So we all get the plan. Pam and Cyril, they were charged with going to the village that wasn't on the map. They were supposed to go to the village and convince the villagers to leave because of the threat of the danger. When they got to the village, it turns out that the villagers managed to use the power of the dam to set up servers all over the world where they're mining cryptocurrency and making money on the low that nobody really knew about. Cyril tried to convince them to leave. Pam tried to convince them and it didn't work. But then Cyril basically told him, he said, listen, I'm an accountant. He said, if I can somehow move your money into a safe location, would you people then leave the village? Because they were just like, we're not going to abandon our servers because this is our livelihood. So they trusted Cyril. Cyril did his thing. He moved their money, and then, everything was good, and then they got the villagers out safely. Now, once that happened, Archer and the gang, like they go into the dam, like inside the dam. They're fighting Slater. They're fighting Tatia. Tatia's beating everyone's ass. Ray bust out the robotic legs, which I thought was really funny. Like Zara was fighting, she got beat up, and then Archer told Zara to go back upstairs and to go help Lana. So now Tatia basically beat everybody up. She got Cyril, she got Archer, she got all of them. She got Barry, everybody tied up. Krieger ends up putting Barry's consciousness into the prototype, which ended up being like a miniature robot version of Barry. So that was funny. And that didn't do anything because it's not like it had super strength or anything. So Tatia beat him up too. But then they were trying to tell her, they were like, listen, Slater's going to betray you at some point. And then she was just like, yes, but she's like, but for the moment, she's like, but for the moment, he's very useful. So then, but then that's when Krieger had told Tatia, he said, so you're okay with killing a bunch of villagers? And then she was like, there's no village there. And then he was like, yeah, it is. He said, it's just not on the map. He said, Slater's going to kill those government officials, but he's also going to wipe out an entire village of innocent people. And I guess that's when Tatia's heart grew 10 sizes that day, because that was the thing that, that bothered her. And then when she asked Slater, she was like, there's a whole village down there. Then Slater basically betrayed her and knocked her out. Hit her off switch so she couldn't get up. So now she's on the floor. Everybody's on the floor. They don't know what to do. And then when Slater leaves, he's just like, okay, you're all going to die in the bomb explosion. Then Pam comes out of nowhere and saves everybody. She unties everybody. And then the whole gang tries to run out. And they gave Pam a couple of cool moments. Pam got into that one fist fight with that one dude in the beginning where like it was nice to see Pam get a chance to whoop some ass at the end, but the guy she fought kind of ended up being her equal, which I thought was hilarious. And but then the two of them went to a standstill and I guess had a mutual respect for each other. She had a chance to go riding on a motorcycle and to save the day, and I don't know why she was able to do all this wearing the skirt and like the sweater that she always wears. Like the choices I thought was very weird. And then so now that she saved everybody, they're on their way upstairs. Zara and Lana's upstairs, and they're just like, hey, Slater's about to escape. And then that's when Lana had said to Zara, she was like, don't worry, Cheryl's gonna save the day and she's our secret weapon. Zara thought that was hilarious, but then Cheryl ended up saving the day because she rode a motorcycle into the helicopter and blew the helicopter up. After she blew the helicopter up, then Lana got a chance to be a badass because she was shown like fighting Slater. She told Slater she was going to pull his trachea out his dick hole, like all this foolishness. She got knocked off a building. Archer saved her. Archer goes after Slater. Archer and Slater fight. This big battle ensues on top of the dam. And then Archer ended up knocking Slater over the dam. And then when Slater was holding on to the dam, he was just like, pull me up, Archer. Then Archer was like, no. But then he said, if you don't pull me up, you'll never know who your father is. Because he said, the CIA, we ran your DNA and we ran it through our database. He said, the CIA knows who your father is. He said, but after I saw who your father was, I deleted that information, so I'm the only person who knows. And that was stupid to me, because for him to say, oh, the CIA ran your DNA through our database. We know who your father is, but after I found out the information, I deleted it, so I'm the only person who knows. Why would Archer then not just ask the CIA to like to resubmit his DNA? Like, it's not like the CIA can't do the process all over again. So that was stupid. That was stupid of Slater. But then he was just like, so either he said, so if you save me, I'll tell you who your father is. And then that's when Archer looked up at the team because, at the end, the whole thing was about Archer basically saying like he's the world's greatest spy. He's a solo act, like he can do everything by himself. But in the end, he actually chose family. Even the moment where Tatia told him, why don't you join us, Sterling, and join the dark side? He thought about it for a minute, but then he came back and he was just like, it was a great offer, but he said he didn't come back to save the world. He came back because of the team, like he misses the team, and he loves the team. He told Slater he doesn't need to know who his daddy is because he already has a family. Slater basically fell to the abyss and died, and then now that the world is saved, they're thinking, hey, we saved the world, like we saved the chaos, like everything's okay, and we should get accommodations for this, and we should be all right, and our spy agency should be saved. Nope, they voted against it. It was like 126 to 27, and now spy agencies are officially outlawed. So they did all that for nothing. Well, aside from saving the world, they did all that for nothing. So then in the end, they're all at a bar celebrating one final mission. Lana gives a speech, and everybody hugs and everything, and it was nice. And then when they all go to make a toast, they turn around and Archer's gone because Archer went upstairs to go have sex with Tatia. During the fight, Tatia and Barry actually merged consciousness together. So now Tatia and Barry are both occupying the same body, and then Archer had sex with her, which is technically him having sex with him at the same time, which was both weird and funny. And the team never saw Archer again. And then that's when it fast forwards to 3 months later. And here's the part where, because I love the episode, I love the movie, I love Archer, the series, I love everything about Archer, but the ending is the only part about it that kind of bothered me. It bothered me that nothing ever became of Zara. Because when the season first started, I was the one who was saying that I didn't trust Zara. I thought she was a spy. I thought she was a double agent and that she would betray them. I'm not upset that my prediction didn't come true, but Zara ended up just not doing anything. Like, she just ended up just being a random member of the team. Even then, her big moment was that she got to dive into her gambling addiction, and I didn't even realize she had a gambling addiction. So to see her go through her gambling addiction at one point during the movie, only because she was winning, because they were trying to get to this doctor guy. She was gambling. She was on a roll. They brought up her gambling, and then she went into a high roller casino where she lost all the money. And that was basically it. It would have even in the end, when Slater kept saying to Archer like, "Oh, I have contingencies. Like, I think of everything. There's always a backup plan. There's always a backup plan." It would have been cool if when they were having like their standoff with everybody, and then Slater was just like, "Oh, I always think of everything. Like I always have a backup plan." That's when Zara leaves their team and goes over to Slater's side, because you find out that Zara has been working for Slater this whole time. That actually would have made sense. And then even then, if Zara ended up saying like, "You know what, I was working for Slater, but in the end, she's like, I chose you lot because, I've developed a friendship," that would have been fine. But just to have her not do anything, I just felt like they kind of dropped the ball on that. They didn't tell us what happened to any of the other cast members. Like, we don't know what Cheryl's doing now. We don't know what Cyril's doing. Like, did Cyril get a job accounting somewhere? Like, does Cheryl, what Cheryl do? Like, we don't know what Pam, is doing after that. Like, we don't know what Ray's doing. They didn't tell us anything about the other characters. It was just like, they toasted at the bar. They had a spy's goodbye. And then that was it. So there was no follow-up to the actual cast, like to the whole cast. And then, like, in the final post-credit scene 3 months later, some random guy comes into, the old spy agency, because Lana's, like, closing up shop. And then he said that Archer has been working in the private sector for the past 3 months. And although spy agencies are outlawed, they can't have Sterling Archer just running off half-cocked all over the world. So they decided to hire Lana to be the person to bring in Sterling Archer and get him off the streets. Lana said she would think about it, and then as soon as the guy left, Lana goes into the next room where Archer is in the room with their child because he just got finished taking his daughter to the zoo. So then, then Archer's making fun of her. He was just like, "Oh, good luck, trying to bring me in." And then the two of them have like witty banter back and forth. Archer almost told her, he loved her, whatever. They had a nice little tender moment. And then, she was just like, "You got 3 days to enjoy life before I bring you in." And then after that, he left. And then AJ was in the final scene. And then he told her that he bought her like some weird zoo animal. And then Lana got mad, said, "Damn it." And that was it for Lana. And then Archer goes to the elevator where Pam gets off the elevator. And then basically he told Pam that he texted her to come to the agency on purpose because he's doing a job overseas, and he said he misses having a team and misses having people around him. So he wants Pam to come with him. Pam's like, where are we going and what are we doing? He's like, I have no idea. And then she was just like, awesome. And then that's how the series ended. So now, and thank you for tuning in. So now, the thing about it that was weird for me, I honestly don't feel like they stuck the landing. Like the final minute of that whole thing just didn't like, and allow me for a moment. In my humble opinion, it would have been better. It would have been better if after Archer walked out of Lana's office, then the entire gang got off the elevator. Everybody, like Zara, Krieger, Cyril, everybody got off the elevator. Come to find out, Archer called them there. And then Archer's like, hey, I have a job I have to do overseas. I called you guys here because I want you to come with me, because although I'm the world's greatest spy detective, I actually miss you guys and I miss having a team around me. And then Cyril could be like, even me? And then he's just like, yeah, even you, buddy, because I need somebody to make fun of. And then having the whole gang be like, well, we're out, spy agencies are outlawed, but fuck it, we'll take a mission. And then Lana comes out and she's like, guys, you can't do this because if you go overseas to do this mission, I'm going to have to bring you all in. They decide to go anyway. And then it ends with Lana saying, God damn it, either because she's just like, shit, now I got to go after all of you, or she says, God damn it, gets in the elevator and joins them. And then have the show end that way. Like, I thought that would have been a better ending, but just to have it end with like Archer and Pam, and then like Archer didn't even get the last word on his own show. Like I said, the ending could have been a little better. It should have ended with the whole team. It should have, because if the whole movie was based on Archer talking about how he didn't need anybody and how he was riding solo, it should have ended with Archer calling the team back in, to help him do random shit all across the world. We even got a Mallory Archer shout out, which I thought was really cool. But say Ivy. That's how it ended. I mean, despite the fact that I wasn't particularly too pleased with the ending, I still love the show. And, I salute, I salute the writers, the creators of Archer. I mean, goddamn, it was 14 years. I don't even remember when I started watching Archer. I think I was just randomly flipping through channels. I saw it on FX, and then I started watching it. It made me laugh, and then I just kept going. Like my brother watches Archer. Like my dad watched Archer. So like it was. I wish I'd have reviewed it sooner. I wish I'd have reviewed it sooner. But at least I get to say goodbye, and I get to say goodbye with all of you. So share your questions, comments, and or concerns down below. Like, let me know what you thought about the series finale of Archer. Let me know what you thought about Archer in the Cold. Did you like the ending? Did you think the ending could have been better? And if you do have ideas of how you thought the show should have ended, share them in the comments section, and we'll continue to talk about it. Check me out on X or Instagram, always on YouTube, where you can leave your questions, comments, and concerns, because although we only have about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago till 2024, we still have more stuff coming up on Red Eyes Entertainment, because one, I just got the Archer review that I'm doing for you right now. Marvel's What If started, so I guess we're going to do a couple of episodes of that before the new year. The Aquaman 2 movie is out, so we're going to do a review for Aquaman 2. And for the What to Watch series, there's this show on Netflix called Oblivion, I forget, Oblivion or something like that. The thing where like the American spy crew gets high while they're on a mission or something. I'm watching that, and I plan on doing a review for that as well. So like I said, so check me out, guys, always on social media. Keep it coming, because like I said, we got a lot of stuff coming in 2024. I love you. Look forward to you all to take the ride with me. But signing off for the final time, for the final spy, for Archer and all the gang. Take care, and we're out this.